It worked.
Now that you've seen the ceremony, I'd like to bring Councilman Smiley over. He is the councilman for this District 7. This is where the house is. Councilman Smiley, come on over.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Norm. There isn't a whole lot I can say other than wow. I followed this project, was here before. On this site sat the worst property in the 7th Council District. And now it's one of the nicest. And now the transformation is just phenomenal. It really is. I hope when you do show this, you show some of the pictures of the before and after, because no one can believe it. You guys have just done an outstanding job here.
We'll definitely show it before and after. What do you think this house has done for the community itself?
Oh, it will do, as I've seen other projects that the county's been involved in, where we've partnered. If you ride through this community of Manor Park, Leadham Estates today, and then come back in 6 months to a year from now, you will see how gradually the impact of the community is, where you'll see residents who've been here a long time, some short time, will ride by and say, hey, you know what? I never thought about doing that with my property. I never realized that would grow on my property. And you will see where people will start. They already have pride in this community, trust me, very proud, but it will enhance that. In addition, what I see that these homes have done in the 7th Council District, and I'm sure in the other districts where the work is taking place, is when you have people coming in looking for a home, especially in the older communities like this one and the one where I live, they'll ride by a home like this, and the house down the street may be for sale, and maybe it's got a little lovingly age on it. But when they look at that and they've ridden by something like this, they say, you know what? We can make this look like that. And you boost the home ownership in the community. You get the vacant properties in loving hands where people want to take them on. They want to do some work on them. Nothing but a positive impact can come from this. Not only in this community, but when people from other communities ride by and they get ideas and they see what they can do and they carry them back to their own communities. Just a great impact all the way around.
I know there's a strong civic association in this community. What did they think about this house?
There's been nothing but positive talk at their meetings from day one when we've talked about it. They've been watching it. I know they'll look forward to the occupants of this house attending the civic meetings, keeping them informed, and just one thing about this community, in all the years, it has maintained the neighbor-to-neighbor concerns. A lot of that is missing, especially in the newer communities, unfortunately, but in these older communities, it's still neighbor-to-neighbor. You may have someone who doesn't know the name of the person 12 houses up, but they know that this person doesn't belong in their front yard at this time of the day or this time of the night, and they will make the call, and they will watch out for their neighbors, and that's great.
We're now inside this great house with a lot of the people that made it possible. I want to ask John Prokopchik to introduce the people behind the scenes. John.
Well, thank you, Norm. Well, first of all, on my immediate right, we have Dave Mengers. Dave is the architect on this project. And we have Sab Vitali and Carmine
Del Signore.
Carmine, they're partners, D&V Construction. And I just want to say that this project to date, as you may have already heard, has been the most aggressive project we had. This place was quite literally a mess. And thanks to Dave and his drawings and his design concept, and then once we awarded the job, these guys worked relentlessly to put this thing together. We ran into a lot of problems on the way, and we just worked so smoothly to get it done, and we're really proud of this one. I know I am. Right now we're standing in one of the 2 bedrooms in this home. Well, before I go into that, let me just ask this. Dave, we bought this house as a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home, which we were originally just going to turn into one of our other NSP homes. But when we hooked up with UCP, United Cerebral Palsy, they contacted you. Tell us how this project sort of developed and what the whole concept was in this development here, in this design.
Well, John, when we first looked at this with UCP, one of our first questions was, what kind of program do you think you wanted to get out of this? And we looked at several different scenarios, including a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom, and looked at whether they wanted to have completely separate units or interrelated units like we have here. And after several iterations, they decided that they wanted to have a unit that had some communal space, like a living area and a dining area, but they also had private space, which were either bedrooms and their own private bathrooms. And that's where we came out with this. We're kind of worked within the footprint of what we were given here. We didn't have to add anything on. And that's kind of how we ended up getting this. The idea was that each inhabitant could enter or exit the house both through the front and the rear door and have a private entrance if they so choose to have so.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, you will, as we tour through the house, we're going to go through the entire house and we're going to walk around the outside as well. You'll see what he's talking about the egress and the whole layout in general. Sab.
Yes, sir.
Carmine, what would you say was the most challenging thing we ran into once you were awarded the job and we began work?
Well, first of all, if I may, I'd like to thank David Mengers and Todd Breck from Breckstone for the wonderful design, and the collaboration was just great. It was wonderful. They were always available. And, of course, Newcastle County, my partner and I were grateful. I would say one of the things we came across was the sprinkler system. It was the application to the State Fire Marshal's office. We weren't aware in the beginning that it did need a separate water line. However, we have a state-of-the-art sprinkler system with a 2-inch line, continuous water, approved and inspected by the State Fire Marshal's office.
Yeah, I would say that was interesting that we had a regular service line for the sink and normal plumbing fixtures, but we actually had to tie into the service line on the street a 2-inch line, just for the sprinklers. So we had, in our NSP homes, the single families, we never do a sprinkler system, but this application we did have to go with one. All right, listen, why don't we take a walk over and take a look at one of the fully accessible ADA compliant bathrooms. All right, when you walk right in here, you could see the shower, which is a roll-in shower, and it's got the handheld sprinkler and the grab bars. Dave, why don't you come on in here and talk a little bit about these features and why they are, what makes them ADA compliant. After all, you were our expert on this with the ADA.
Okay, well, the first element we have in the bathroom is a roll-in shower, and the idea is that the tenant or the end user can come in and shower themselves in an open area with a tiled space so that water can get, there's a little more free flow of water. There's a drain at the bottom. They have a zero tolerance entrance into the shower that's waterproof and allows for easy draining into the storm sewer system or the sanitary system. There's a handicap accessible toilet with enough clearance in front of it to have a 60-inch diameter turning radius, which allows the occupant to access the toilet and the sink in a way that without bumping into anything. Also, when you get into the closet, we were able to locate, and this is a credit to DMV Enterprises, they found the best place to locate the residential sprinkler system inside the closet, which has also made it accessible to the client and the end user. But the idea is that to design the elements in the bathroom and the rest of the house in a way that made it as independent as possible for the end users to use that. And we couldn't have done that without the collaborative efforts of John and DMV. Everybody came up with some really good ideas, which added not only before construction but all the way through to the end of construction to enhance the end product that you see today.
Oh, thanks, Dave. All right, let's say we go into the living area and take a look around and view at the kitchen a little bit. Okay, here we are in the shared living area of this particular house, and you can see we just came out of the bedroom where we were, and back there you have the other bedroom, the second one, and we have a shared living space and the kitchen. One of the things I wanted to mention, and Sab, I'll ask you about this. Tell us about this floor, and of course, into the tile in the kitchen floor. Come on in here. This is a unique floor.
This is a vinyl flooring and a lower flooring system, and It is waterproof, and it is ideal for for a wheelchair.
Wheelchair
Accessibility.
So it is a floating system.
It is a floating system.
And it's a locking
It's not
system.
going down. It is a locking
Right.
floating system.
They look like hardwood floors, actually, but they lock in. It's a floating system.
They have an insulating backing on it, and they're also waterproof.
Yeah, waterproof. So it's very durable, perfect for the wheelchair
Absolutely
accessibility.
perfect. Ideal for wheelchair accessibility.
And when we walked over here into the kitchen, what's on the floor here?
We have ceramic tile. Ceramic tile. We have a ADA threshold here, so you can make the transition from the vinyl plank onto the ceramic floor with no bumping and no,
So it's a ceramic tile. It's the type of floor we put in a lot of homes.
Absolutely.
So there's nothing
Yes,
really
there's
special.
nothing
It's just
special
ceramic
here.
tile. All right, well, let's go into the kitchen, and I'd like to bring Dave Mengers back in, the architect, because he put together this whole thing in terms of the ADA compliance. Dave, will you walk us around the kitchen and tell us a little bit about the features here?
Sure, John. Well, we start here right at the table here. I designed a table and a counter space that would be able to be accessed both by the kitchen and the living area as both a dining area. It's suspended out so that a wheelchair-bound person can access it from all angles, come into the kitchen area, and continue to use the workspace, going all the way down to a series of base drawers. The difference here is we minimized the base cabinets because for wheelchair-bound tenants, the pull-out base drawers are more accessible for storage and for access. Both the dishwasher, the cooktop, and the wall oven are all at accessible heights, so that it can be easily manipulated and operated by someone in a wheelchair.
And I noticed in front of the stove, in front of the sink, and over here, all along this countertop over here, you can wheelchair right in under those facilities, under those fixtures, in order to make it more usable for the.
Yeah, that's correct, John. Another amenity is the shelving. You'll see is lowered, and there are no wall cabinets other than one above the wall oven. And the idea behind that was we lowered the shelves, have two layers of it, so that it is accessible from a forward reach and a side reach for a handicapped, accessible, wheelchair-bound person. And this idea actually was originated from Bill McCool from UCP as something he had used at home for he and his family. When we go over to the left here, we have another area that is a workspace that can be used as a mini office or for storage. And to the left is a handicap accessible refrigerator, which has pull-out drawers on the inside.
So you can see that this kitchen has everything you could possibly want in a kitchen. So, I mean, it's a fully loaded kitchen, and it's got everything you'd have at home. Well, thank you, Dave. One of the other interesting things, of course, is this laundry closet, and I'd like to point out some of the features of this one, and I'd like to bring in Sab Vitale here, and he's the general contractor, and ask him to talk a little bit about that.
Well, what we have here is a tankless hot water system, and basically what that means, it's on demand, continuous hot water, where you have your typical upright 40, 50-gallon heater. When you deplete that or the water runs out, it has to fill back up again in the element one, the water. This here, you have continuous water, and on demand we call it. And also it's an energy saver, Energy Star, and it has about 8.5 gallons per minute, which is ideal for this kind of living because two people can basically be taking a shower simultaneously and the dishwasher running, and the hot water will not run out. And it is ideal for the disadvantaged people that are living here. They will always have hot water.
Well, and you know we use them a lot in all of our homes, and they are great. And a little bit, we got some real nice washer dryer here, front loader, and one of the unique things about it, of course, is it's fully accessible. You see all the dials down here, so someone that's in a wheelchair can access those controls very easily. Okay. All right, we're in the back bedroom, second bedroom, and it's pretty much the same as the other. It has plenty of living space. It's got a little counter over here, and a separate exit door to the outside patio, and of course a bathroom, which is just like the one on the other side.
John, that was a great job. You know what? We forgot to talk about the wheelchair accessibility here, which is really important to get in the house. John, go ahead.
Well, it's basically just in compliance with ADA guidelines. It's a ramp, and the maximum pitch, I believe it's 1 in 12, and this is well within that. And it allows person to come in and to come right up the ramp and access. This area here I'm standing on is a flat porch area once you come up the ramp. And you could spend some time out here, sit out here, but either way, it looks good. It's made out of the Trex decking with the vinyl railing, and it should last many years to come.
Thank you for watching. This is Norman Spector for NCC TV and Newcastle County's Fix Up of the Week.